The city never truly slept, but in the quietest hours of the night, a soft hum of life could be found in a hidden corner. Among the towering skyscrapers and neon lights, there was a small, unassuming building, almost forgotten by the world. Inside, the warm glow of countless plants created a world that felt entirely separate from the city outside. This was the Midnight Greenhouse, a place where rare plants thrived under the care of one dedicated soul. Lucas moved carefully among the rows of glowing greenery. His hands were gentle as he adjusted the delicate leaves, checking for any sign of weakness or disease. He had spent years cultivating this sanctuary, tending to plants that could bloom only under the light of the moon. The greenhouse was his pride, his escape, and his secret. Few people had ever seen it, and even fewer understood its importance. Tonight, however, the quiet of the greenhouse was interrupted. A soft creak echoed from the main door. Lucas stiffened, his heart quickening. It was almost impossible for anyone to enter without his knowledge. Slowly, he walked toward the sound, adjusting the strap of his apron and trying not to seem alarmed. "Hello," a soft voice called from the doorway. Lucas stopped, his eyes searching the shadows. Standing there was a young woman with a sketchbook in her hands. Her dark hair fell over her shoulders, and her eyes sparkled with curiosity and wonder. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice gentle, "I didn't mean to intrude. I was just walking and saw light. It looked beautiful, so I wanted to draw it." Lucas studied her carefully. Most people would not dare enter a place like this. But there was something sincere about her. Something that made him lower his guard. "This place isn't usually open," he said, his voice calm but firm. "It's private." "I understand," she replied with a small smile. "I won't stay long. I love drawing unusual plants. I've never seen anything like this." Lucas nodded slowly. "These plants bloom only at night. Few people know about them." He gestured toward the rows of delicate flowers glowing faintly under the moonlight that filtered through the glass roof. "You can stay for a while. But please, don't touch anything." The woman's eyes lit up. "Thank you. My name is Maya." "I'm Lucas," he said, extending his hand. She shook it lightly, a spark of connection passing between them. Maya walked slowly among the plants, sketchbook in hand. Her pencil moved quickly across the page, capturing the soft curves of the petals and the gentle glow of the leaves. Lucas watched her, intrigued by her focus and the way she seemed to see the greenhouse with fresh eyes. "You have a wonderful space here," she said after a moment. "It feels like another world." Lucas smiled faintly. "That's the idea. The city can be loud and harsh. In here, everything grows slowly, carefully. Everything has its time." Maya nodded, her eyes still on her sketch. "I wish I could see the world like this every day." Lucas felt a warmth in his chest at her words. Most visitors would not notice the quiet magic of the place, but she seemed to understand it instinctively. "Maybe you can," he said softly. "If you want, you can come back." Her gaze lifted, surprised. "Really? You'd let me?" "Yes," Lucas replied, shrugging lightly. "Just respect the plants. And be careful. Some of them are rare." Maya's smile widened, and for a moment, the hum of the city outside faded completely. Here, in this little world of glowing plants, the two strangers shared a quiet connection. It was the beginning of something unspoken, something delicate, like the petals that surrounded them. Before she left, Maya turned to Lucas. "I'll come back," she said softly, almost like a promise. Lucas watched her disappear into the night, feeling an unfamiliar thrill. He had spent countless nights alone, tending to the greenhouse, but for the first time, he wondered what it would be like to share it with someone who understood it. The plants glowed softly around him as he returned to his work, but now, the light felt warmer, as if the greenhouse itself had welcomed a new presence. And somewhere deep inside, Lucas felt a spark of something he hadn't felt in a long time, a desire to see where this unexpected encounter might lead. A few nights later, the city streets were quiet, wrapped in the cool hush of midnight. Lucas was making his usual rounds in the greenhouse, checking the rare moon-blooming flowers. Each plant glowed faintly under the glass roof, casting soft green and blue lights that danced across the walls. The gentle scent of earth and blossoms filled the air, a calming contrast to the distant hum of the city. A soft click echoed through the door, and Lucas turned, expecting an intruder. Instead, he saw Maya standing there, her sketchbook clutched in her hands, her eyes wide with awe. "I couldn't resist," she whispered. "I wanted to see it again." Lucas felt a small smile tug at his lips. "I thought you might," he said. "Come in. But remember, no touching the plants." Maya stepped carefully into the greenhouse, her eyes scanning every corner. The plants seemed to respond to her presence, their gentle glow illuminating her face. She found a small bench near a rare flower that shimmered with a faint silver light and set her sketchbook on her lap. "I've never seen anything like this," she said softly. "How do they glow like that?" Lucas moved beside her, leaning slightly to point at a cluster of petals. "These plants bloom only at night. Their glow helps them attract insects that pollinate them. It's rare, but I've spent years studying them. Some even have properties that can help people heal or think more clearly." Maya's eyes widened. "That's incredible. You've created a world here." "I've only taken care of it," Lucas said, brushing his hand over a leaf. "The plants do most of the work themselves." For a while, they were silent, watching the gentle movement of leaves and the tiny glow of flowers. Then Maya broke the quiet. "I like how peaceful it is here," she said. "Out there," she gestured toward the city, "everything is loud and fast. Here, time feels softer." Lucas nodded, understanding completely. "Most people don't notice that. They rush through life without seeing what's around them. Here, everything has a rhythm. You have to slow down to appreciate it." Maya looked at him, her eyes reflecting the soft green light. "It's like we're in another world. Just for a little while." A gentle smile crossed Lucas's face. "Exactly. That's why I keep it secret. It's fragile, and it wouldn't survive if everyone came rushing in." She nodded, her hand hovering over the edge of her sketchbook as if she wanted to touch something without disturbing it. "I'm glad I found it," she said softly. "And I'm glad I met you. You understand it in a way that makes it even more beautiful." Lucas felt a warmth in his chest. He wasn't used to sharing his world with anyone. Usually, he was alone, and that was enough. But with Maya here, he felt something different. Something gentle, like a spark quietly growing. "You like the plants," he said quietly, "but I think you like the calm too. You notice things most people ignore." Maya smiled, a blush rising on her cheeks. "I do. And I like talking to you." Lucas hesitated, not used to speaking about his feelings. "I like talking to you too," he admitted. "It feels easier somehow. Like I can be myself without worrying." For a moment, the greenhouse seemed even quieter. The glow of the plants, the scent of the soil, and the soft hum of life around them created a perfect bubble, separating them from the rest of the world. Maya opened her sketchbook and showed him a drawing she had started the previous night. The lines captured the glow of the flowers, the curve of the leaves, and the soft light filtering from the roof. Lucas studied it, impressed by how she had noticed details he often took for granted. "This is amazing," he said, genuinely. "You see things I didn't even notice." She laughed softly. "I'm just lucky to be here." They talked for hours, sharing small stories about their lives, their dreams, and the things that made them happy. Lucas explained how he had discovered some of the rare plants, and Maya shared sketches from other places she had visited. Slowly, the bond between them deepened, not just through words but through the quiet understanding of shared moments. As dawn approached, Maya closed her sketchbook reluctantly. "I should go," she said softly, "but I'll come back. I want to see more of this, and learn more from you." Lucas nodded, feeling an unusual flutter in his chest. "I'll be here. The greenhouse, it's waiting." As Maya disappeared into the city's waking streets, Lucas returned to his plants. But the calm of the greenhouse now felt warmer, brighter. Somewhere deep inside, he knew that this night was only the beginning of something extraordinary, something that might grow as slowly and beautifully as the rare plants around them. A few nights after their moonlit conversation, Maya returned to the greenhouse. The city was quiet, the streets empty under the soft glow of streetlights, and she felt a sense of calm as soon as she stepped inside. The familiar scent of earth and blossoms welcomed her, and the gentle glow of the plants made the space feel almost magical. Lucas was already there, kneeling beside a row of small silver-leafed plants. When he noticed her, a small smile appeared on his face. "You're here earlier than usual," he said. "I couldn't wait," Maya replied, her eyes sparkling. She carried her sketchbook, but tonight, she didn't sit immediately. Instead, she wandered slowly among the plants, as if greeting old friends. Lucas stood, brushing his hands on his apron. "I have something to show you," he said, gesturing toward a secluded corner of the greenhouse. Maya followed, curiosity bright in her eyes. He stopped in front of a small area filled with plants that shimmered more brightly than the others. "These are rare," he said softly. "They bloom only under the full moon, and their properties, well, they're unusual." Maya leaned closer, fascinated. "Properties?" she asked. Lucas nodded. "Some can help people heal, some can improve focus or calm the mind. I study them carefully because they're fragile. They can't survive in just any environment, and most people don't understand them." Maya's gaze lingered on the glowing leaves. "It's amazing," she whispered. "I never imagined anything like this existed." Lucas smiled faintly. "Few people do. That's why I keep it a secret. The city can be harsh, and these plants, they need quiet, patience, and care." For a moment, they were silent, listening to the soft rustle of leaves and the faint hum of life in the greenhouse. Then Maya spoke, her voice gentle. "I'm glad I'm allowed to see it. It feels like I'm part of something special." Lucas felt a warmth in his chest. Sharing this secret wasn't easy for him, but with Maya, it felt natural. "I trust you," he said. "I think you understand why this place matters." They moved together among the plants, Lucas explaining the delicate process of tending to each one. Maya listened closely, asking questions and sketching occasionally. Her curiosity was genuine, and her presence brought a quiet joy to the greenhouse. At one point, Their hands brushed as they reached for the same plant. Both paused, and a faint flush appeared on Maya's cheeks. Lucas looked at her, feeling a spark he couldn't ignore. He quickly looked away, focusing on the plant, but the air between them had changed. Something unspoken was growing, subtle and powerful. "Do you ever worry?" Maya asked after a while, her voice soft. "About keeping all of this safe?" Lucas nodded, his expression serious. "Every day. The plants are fragile, and this place, it can't handle too much attention. That's why I'm careful about who I let in. I don't want anything to happen to it." Maya reached out, lightly touching the edge of a glowing leaf. "I understand," she said quietly. "I promise I won't do anything to harm it. I like being here, learning from you." Lucas watched her, feeling a connection growing stronger with each passing moment. "You're careful, and you notice things most people miss," he said softly. "It makes me happy to share this place with you." They spent the next hour together in quiet companionship. Lucas tended the plants while Maya sketched, and sometimes they exchanged soft words about the shapes of leaves, the glow of petals, or the gentle rhythm of the greenhouse. The bond between them deepened, built on trust, curiosity, and a shared appreciation for something rare and beautiful. As the night grew late, Maya closed her sketchbook reluctantly. "I should go," she said, her voice tinged with disappointment. Lucas nodded, feeling a tug at his heart. "You're welcome anytime," he said quietly. "The greenhouse, it will be here waiting." Before leaving, Maya looked back at him. "I'll come back soon. There's so much more I want to see, and to learn from you." Lucas watched her disappear into the night, feeling a mix of excitement and caution. The greenhouse was safe for now, but he knew the connection between them was growing, just like the delicate plants under his care. And deep inside, he felt a new kind of anticipation, one that was no longer just about the plants, but about the quiet, undeniable spark between him and Maya. The night was unusually dark, clouds covering the moon and hiding its soft glow. Inside the greenhouse, Lucas moved quickly among the plants, checking fragile leaves and adjusting supports. The wind had started to howl outside, rattling the glass roof and sending shivers through the building. Something about this storm felt stronger than the usual city rains. Just as he was securing a row of tall moon-blooming flowers, the door opened with a soft creak. Maya stepped in, holding her sketchbook tightly. "Lucas," she called, her voice barely audible over the rising wind. "I saw the storm coming. Is everything okay?" Lucas hurried to her side, relief and concern mixing in his expression. "It's going to be a strong one. I need help moving some of the more delicate plants away from the glass." Maya nodded quickly. "Of course. Just tell me what to do." They worked side by side, carrying plants to safer spots and tying loose branches to prevent damage. The wind thrashed outside, and the soft glow of the greenhouse made the night feel almost magical, despite the chaos beyond the walls. At one point, a sudden gust blew through a small gap in the door. Maya stumbled, and Lucas caught her by the waist, steadying her. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, the storm outside faded from their minds. Lucas felt a warmth spread through him, stronger than the calm glow of the plants. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. Maya nodded, her cheeks flushed. "Yes, thanks to you." They returned to the plants, moving carefully but efficiently. Lucas showed Maya how to support a particularly fragile silver-leafed flower. Their hands brushed more than once, sending small jolts of electricity through both of them. Neither spoke, but each felt the unspoken tension growing. As the storm intensified, a large branch from a nearby tree leaned against the glass wall. The wind rattled it violently, threatening the greenhouse. Lucas and Maya moved together, pushing the branch away and securing the plants that trembled from the vibrations. Finally, as the rain began to pour heavily and the wind reached its peak, they paused for a moment, breathing heavily. The greenhouse was safe, the plants protected, and the storm's fury contained outside. Maya looked around at the glowing flowers, the leaves still shimmering under the faint light that filtered through the clouds. "We did it," she said softly, a smile of relief and pride on her face. Lucas smiled back, but there was something more in his eyes now, a vulnerability he rarely showed. "We did it, together," he said. For a moment, the silence of the greenhouse was filled only with their shared breathing. Then, unable to resist the emotions building between them any longer, Lucas reached out and gently took Maya's hand. She looked at him, surprised but not pulling away. I feel something I shouldn't ignore," Lucas admitted quietly. "Being here with you, it's more than just the plants. It's you." Maya's eyes softened. "I feel the same," she whispered. "I didn't want to say it before, but this place, it makes me feel alive." Lucas took a small step closer, their hands still entwined. The storm raged outside, but inside, the greenhouse was a world apart, filled with quiet light and gentle warmth. Their faces drew nearer, and they shared a tender, innocent kiss, a connection that was patient, pure, and full of trust. After a few moments, they pulled back slightly, smiling at each other. I wasn't expecting this," Maya said softly, her hand still in his. "Neither was I," Lucas admitted, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "But I'm glad." The storm began to ease, the rain softening, and a faint light from the hidden moon filtered through the clouds. The plants glowed more brightly now, as if celebrating the moment. Lucas and Maya stood together, hands clasped, hearts beating faster, surrounded by the life and light of the greenhouse they both loved. As the first drops of calmer rain hit the roof, Maya leaned slightly on Lucas, feeling safe and cherished. He held her gently, knowing that the bond between them had deepened in ways that neither had expected, strengthened not just by the night, but by their shared courage and trust. When the storm finally passed, they stepped back from the plants, exhausted but happy. The greenhouse was safe, and so was their newfound connection. For the first time, Lucas realized that the sanctuary was not just a place for plants, it was a place for something rare, something beautiful, and something worth protecting, the beginning of love. The days after the storm were calm, but a quiet tension lingered in Lucas's mind. The greenhouse had survived, and the plants were unharmed, yet he couldn't shake a feeling of unease. The city outside was never truly predictable, and rumors had a way of spreading faster than anyone could stop them. Maya arrived one evening, her sketchbook tucked under her arm. She stepped into the greenhouse with a bright smile, but Lucas noticed her hesitation. She had sensed the subtle change in his mood. "Lucas," she asked gently, her hand brushing against a leaf as she walked past. "Is something wrong?" He hesitated, looking at the glowing plants around them. "I worry," he admitted softly. "The greenhouse is fragile, and I don't know if I'm ready to share it with anyone else. Even you, as much as I trust you." Maya frowned slightly, understanding the weight of his words. "I get it," she said quietly. "But I don't want to be someone who adds to your worry. I just want to be here with you." Lucas looked at her, his chest tightening. It's not about you being here. It's about the world outside. People might hear about this place, about the rare plants. And then, everything could be lost. Maya took a step closer, placing her hand lightly on his arm. Then let's protect it together, she said softly. I care about this place as much as you do. And I care about you. Her words brought warmth to Lucas's heart. He had always been cautious, even a little lonely in his devotion to the plants. But now, with Maya by his side, he realized that sharing the greenhouse didn't mean giving up control, it meant trusting someone who truly understood. For a while, they worked together quietly, tending to the plants and making small adjustments to prevent any future damage. Lucas showed Maya how to check the stems of fragile flowers, how to adjust the light, and how to notice the subtle changes in the plant's glow. Maya listened carefully, her eyes bright with curiosity and care. As they moved among the glowing leaves, Lucas noticed how naturally Maya had become part of the greenhouse. Her presence didn't disturb the plants, if anything, it seemed to enhance the quiet beauty of the space. He smiled at her, feeling the connection deepen. But the calm was not meant to last. A few days later, a stranger arrived at the edge of the city, asking questions about rare plants and unusual flowers. Rumors began to spread quietly, carried by curious whispers and fleeting encounters. Lucas learned about it from a friend who worked in the city, and his heart sank. I was afraid this would happen, Lucas admitted when he told Maya. His hands clenched slightly as he paced. People always want what they don't understand. They don't see the beauty, they see opportunity. Maya reached out, placing her hand over his. Then we show them the right way, she said firmly. We protect what matters together. I'm not leaving, Lucas. We'll face it side by side. Her words gave him courage, and for the first time in days, he felt a sense of calm return. The greenhouse was not just a sanctuary for the plants, it was a sanctuary for them as well. Together, they could face the shadows that threatened to creep in from the outside world. That night, Maya surprised Lucas by setting up a small area in the greenhouse for them to sit. She had brought lanterns that cast soft, gentle light, not bright enough to disturb the plants, but enough to make the space feel cozy and safe. I wanted to recreate the first night I came here, she said softly. To remind us why this place is special, and why we matter to each other. Lucas felt a warmth in his chest at her thoughtfulness. He took her hand gently, guiding her to the bench where the plants glowed softly around them. This is perfect, he said quietly. Thank you. They sat together, talking about small things, the shapes of leaves, the scent of flowers, the quiet rhythm of the greenhouse. Slowly, the tension from the outside world faded, replaced by the trust and understanding growing between them. As the night deepened, Lucas realized that shadows would always exist, doubt, fear, and outside threats, but with Maya by his side, he no longer felt alone. The greenhouse, once a solitary sanctuary, had become a place of shared hope, love, and protection. And deep inside, he knew that together, they could face anything. The city had grown unusually quiet that evening, as if holding its breath. Lucas felt a tension in the air as he tended the moon-blooming flowers in the greenhouse. The plants glowed softly, their gentle light reflecting in his thoughtful eyes. Something told him that the rumors circulating about rare plants were reaching a dangerous stage. A knock on the greenhouse door startled him. He hurried over, and through the glass, he saw two people in city uniforms. They had papers in hand and a look of curiosity that made Lucas's stomach tighten. Maya, who had been sketching nearby, stood and moved beside him. Lucas, they're here, she whispered, her hand lightly brushing his arm. Lucas took a deep breath. "Stay calm. We can handle this," he said quietly, more to himself than to her. He opened the door, his eyes steady as the officials stepped inside. "Good evening," one of them said politely. "We received a report about unusual plants in this area. We just need to inspect the greenhouse to make sure everything is safe and legal." Lucas nodded slowly, keeping his tone calm. "Of course. Please follow me. I can explain everything." He led them through the glowing rows, pointing out the plants and their properties. Maya stayed close, sketchbook in hand but silent, offering a quiet presence that strengthened Lucas's confidence. "These plants bloom only at night," Lucas explained, "and they require very specific care. I've studied them for years to ensure they grow safely. They are harmless to people." The officials listened carefully, examining the plants without touching them. One of them raised an eyebrow at the faint glow. "Interesting," he said. "We've never seen anything like this. But it looks well maintained." Maya stepped forward, her voice soft but clear. "We take care of the greenhouse together. Every plant matters, and we protect them carefully." Lucas looked at her, proud of her courage and sincerity. Her words added weight to his explanation, showing the officials that this was more than just a collection of rare plants, it was a carefully nurtured sanctuary. After a few tense moments, the officials nodded. "Everything seems in order," one said. "We understand now that this is a private, safe space. Please continue your work, but remain mindful of the rules." Lucas let out a quiet breath of relief. "Thank you for understanding," he said, his voice steady but his heart still racing. Once the officials left, Lucas turned to Maya, feeling a mix of pride and affection. "We did it," he said softly, his hands brushing hers. "The greenhouse, it's safe." Maya smiled, a sense of relief spreading across her face. "We did it together," she replied. Her eyes shone with warmth, and Lucas felt his chest tighten in a way that had nothing to do with fear or worry. They moved to the small bench where they often sat, surrounded by the soft glow of the plants. For a few moments, they simply breathed in the calm of the greenhouse, letting the tension fade. Lucas reached out and took Maya's hand. "I realize now," he said quietly, "that this place isn't just about plants. It's about sharing something rare and beautiful with someone who understands it. With you." Maya's eyes softened, and she squeezed his hand gently. "I feel the same," she whispered. "This place, and you, mean more to me than I can say." A gentle silence filled the greenhouse, the hum of life around them creating a perfect harmony. Lucas leaned closer, and Maya met him halfway. Their connection was quiet but intense, built on trust, shared experiences, and the knowledge that they had faced something together and come through stronger. "You make everything better," Lucas said softly. "Even the fear, the worry, it feels easier when you're here." "And you make me feel like I belong," Maya replied, her voice gentle but full of meaning. "Like I'm part of something important." Lucas smiled, leaning his forehead lightly against hers. "We'll protect it," he said. "Together. No matter what comes next." Maya rested her head against his shoulder, feeling the warmth and comfort of his presence. The greenhouse glowed softly around them, the delicate plants thriving under their care. It was more than just a sanctuary for nature, it had become a sanctuary for their growing love, a place where they could face challenges together and find strength in one another. For the first time in many nights, Lucas felt completely at peace. The greenhouse was safe, the threat was gone, and he was not alone. With Maya by his side, he knew that anything they cared about, plants, dreams, or love, could grow and flourish, no matter what obstacles appeared outside the walls of their hidden garden. The greenhouse glowed softly under the light of a crescent moon. The plants swayed gently as if breathing with life, casting shimmering reflections across the glass walls. For Lucas and Maya, the space had become more than a sanctuary for plants. It was a place of trust, love, and shared dreams. Tonight, they moved among the rows together, checking the delicate leaves and rare flowers. The air was cool and calm, carrying the familiar sense of earth and blossoms. They worked side by side in quiet harmony, each glance and gentle touch reinforcing the bond that had grown between them over many nights. "You know," Maya said softly, adjusting a fragile plant, "this place feels even more alive when we're together." Lucas looked at her, a smile tugging at his lips. "It does," he agreed. "It feels like the greenhouse itself knows we care. Like it's celebrating something new." Maya's eyes brightened. "Like us?" she asked, her voice filled with gentle curiosity. Lucas nodded, taking her hand in his. "Yes, like us." They paused near a small silver-leafed flower that had not bloomed for many months. Lucas knelt beside it, examining the tiny bud. "This one is special," he said. "It blooms only when conditions are perfect, when the care and patience around it come together." Maya watched, fascinated. "And tonight, it feels perfect," she said softly, squeezing his hand. Lucas felt warmth spread through his chest. He had spent years tending to plants, studying their needs, and protecting them from harm. But this moment, watching something rare and beautiful flourish while sharing it with someone who truly cared, was unlike anything he had known. A faint movement caught their eyes. The bud of the silver-leafed flower trembled, then slowly opened, revealing petals that shimmered with a soft, pale light. Maya gasped, leaning closer to Lucas. "It bloomed," she whispered. "It really bloomed." Lucas smiled, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. "Just like I hoped," he said quietly. "It's a sign that patience and care bring the most beautiful results." Maya rested her head lightly on his shoulder. "And love," she added softly. "Love is part of it too." Lucas nodded, feeling a surge of emotion. "Yes, love too," he agreed. He looked around the greenhouse, at the glowing plants thriving under their care. "This place, these plants, they remind me that the things we nurture grow stronger. And so do we, together." For a long moment, they stood quietly, holding hands and watching the flowers. The night felt still, almost sacred, as if the greenhouse itself recognized the bond between them. Finally, Lucas spoke, his voice gentle but full of certainty. "Maya, I want us to face everything together. Every challenge, every joy. I don't want to imagine it without you." Maya lifted her head, meeting his eyes. Her own eyes shone with trust and warmth. "I feel the same, Lucas. Whatever comes, we'll face it together." He smiled, leaning closer to her. Their hands intertwined, and this time their kiss was soft, lingering, full of all the care and affection they had grown together over many nights. It was a promise as much as it was an expression of love, a promise to protect, to nurture, and to grow together. After a while, they pulled back slightly, resting their foreheads together. "Do you think," Maya asked softly, "the greenhouse knows we're happy?" Lucas laughed quietly. "I think it does," he said. "Look around, the plants are thriving, the flowers are blooming. It's a reflection of everything we've shared here." Maya smiled, her eyes sparkling. Then let's keep it that way. Together. The night passed peacefully, the greenhouse alive with quiet energy. Lucas and Maya moved through the rows, tending to each plant and sharing soft conversation, laughter, and gentle touches. Every moment reinforced the truth that they had found something rare, a love as delicate, patient, and beautiful as the plants around them. As the first light of dawn touched the edges of the glass roof, a single rare flower bloomed in the center of the greenhouse. Its petals shone brighter than ever, a perfect symbol of the bond that had grown between them, strong, resilient, and full of life. Lucas took Maya's hand, feeling the warmth of her presence beside him. "We've done well," he said softly, smiling down at the glowing flower. Maya leaned against him, her head resting on his shoulder. "Yes, together," she agreed, whispering. The greenhouse glowed in quiet celebration, a sanctuary for both life and love. And in that gentle light, Lucas and Maya knew that no matter what the future held, they had something unbreakable. Something that would bloom again and again, just like the rare flowers they cherished, nurtured by care, patience, and the enduring magic of their shared hearts.